They broke into my house. They came, surrounded my house. There were 20. 12 of them were in uniform, UPDF uniform with guns. 8 of them were in civilian clothes. They had pistols. One of them had a sledgehammer. Through the window, they commanded me to open, and I refused. Instead, I locked myself inside. And they broke the background proof of the window and got in, beat me up, punched me into my stomach and handcuffed me, got me out and put me in a drone and covered my head. They covered my head with something like a sack, a small sack. They cover your head, then it has strings. They pull the strings around your neck.
The Ugandan author Kakwenza Ruchirabashaija alleges he was tortured by Ugandan security forces. They came into his home on December 28th and detained him for a fortnight. Torture has become a significant talking point in Uganda. In the run-up to the January 2021 elections and since the results came through, hundreds of people have been detained following raids on their homes or political rallies. Many detailed their experiences of torture at the hands of security agents. Last week, opposition MPs staged a walkout from Parliament over the torture allegations. And this week, they took the issue to the floor of the House. Kakwenza has been detained twice before. First in early 2020, following the publication of his award-winning novel, The Greedy Barbarian, and again in September that year after he published Banana Republic, a book in which he detailed his time in detention. He told the BBC about what happened to him on the most recent occasion.
They ushered me into a room, and there was some loud music blaring. So they started beating me up using, I think it was baton. They were hitting my ankles. They beat me severely until I could not even stand up. When they told me to stand and dance to the music that was blaring, I could not stand up. So they forced me to stand and dance. So I thought that maybe they wanted me to dance for 2-3 minutes and sit down. But I danced for hours. I danced, you sweat, you stop sweating, your mouth is dry. If you say that you're tired, they give you another exercise to do, like push-ups. So I danced the whole night. In interrogation, that is when I was beaten. The entire 2 weeks I spent in that military detention, they were beating me almost every day. And sometimes they would undress me and beat me severely. I don't know, with a wire, with what, I don't know. They get pliers, they start picking flesh from my thighs. It was very terrible. When the beatings became so severe, I knew that I was going to die. Honestly, I knew that I was going to die because I could feel myself lying in my own pool of blood. At one point, I lost consciousness and regained it later and found a doctor working on me, completely naked on the tiles, washing my wounds, injecting me. He would inject me 6 times, 6 injections every 6 hours, and he would bring me about 17 capsules and tablets every 6 hours to swallow.
Kakwenza's story is not unique. Other Ugandans have told the BBC about beatings that left them in intensive care, electrocution, being forced to eat rotten food, among other types of torture. Kakwenza says his time in detention has left him with significant injuries. Medical reports, including one from the prison service, corroborate his account.
My kidneys are very weak. My ankles have fracture. I have dermatological ulcerations. I need to go. I cannot stand seeing myself with all these scars on my body. PTSD is a lot. It is very terrible. Then I do not have body balance. I cannot stand for long or walk for Even if it is 5 minutes, I cannot walk for that time. I just collapse.
US, UK, and EU missions to Uganda have condemned reported torture by state agents and asked the government to investigate. The Ugandan government has stated that it does not condone torture.
Torture is not a policy of government. Any person who conducts himself or herself in such a manner, i.e. torturing, that person does so in his own or her own personal capacity, and indeed will and shall be handled in accordance with the law.
We have presented these allegations to the army, who have yet to respond. Kakwenza says his experience will not stop him from writing.
I still have my hands, I'm going to write. You wait, I am going to undress them. Because this is unacceptable. As I have told you, I cannot take it with equanimity. I have to sit down and describe everything that they did to me, and I will produce another book.